湾公广集团、华视教育文化频道。
您现在收看的是华视教育文化频道，接下来要播出的是商用英语会话上。
Hi, I'm your teacher, Lisa. I hope you are having a good day and looking forward to our new lesson.
It's good to be back. Students, welcome back to class.
Okay, Robin, before we start our new lesson, would you please take a few seconds to review what we have covered in our last chapter?
Yes, the last lesson was very helpful if you're a sales clerk, if you help sell anything, services or products. We learned how to offer assistance. You can say, how can I help you? Can I be of assistance? We also learned how to request help. You could say, could you do me a favor? Could you lend me a hand? Those are examples we learned last week.
Okay, and today we are going to learn another profession called being a secretary 当秘书哈。我要同学们在秘书的工作里头，老师要特别的提醒你们，这一单元应该是很实用的一个单元。有些同学可能会觉得我不是一个专业的秘书 ，maybe this is not good for me, or I don't need that. But actually， 很多同学毕业之后，常常在一个公司规模并不是很大的公司里头。他们常常需要做很多的事，包含办公室的工作、接听电话等等，或者是帮老板做旅程的安排，这些都会是秘书的工作的一部分。OK， 也许你不叫做秘书，但是你的工作一定有秘书的部分。That is something we want to teach you how to be a professional secretary. Okay, so right now before we start our new lesson, let's take our chapter focus today.
To learn how to make a request.
OK， 今天第一个学习的重点是怎么样做一个请求。
To learn how to respond to a request.
OK， 第二个重点就是我们要学习如何回应别人的请求。
Okay, in this first conversation, we're going to see Mr. Smith call in his secretary. He needs to talk over his agenda with her.
Okay, talk over. That was a key phrase. I want to take a closer look. Talk over. That means to talk about. Right?
It means to discuss your plan.
Okay, talk over 就是谈论一些事情哈，描述这个一个事件哈，一个 plan. Well, let me give you first example. We'll talk it over when I've got some more details. 如果我还有一些更多的 details， 我会 later 跟你谈论这件事情。
And here's another example. Let's talk over the arrangement before we make a final decision.
Okay, talk over the arrangement. Okay, 接下去呢，老师要看的就是刚刚待会我们的对话会谈到就是 talk over agenda. Okay, Robin, is the agenda same as schedule?
No, they're different. Schedule is a list of what time things will happen. Schedule usually is a table with numbers of time. For example, a train schedule, a bus schedule, or your school schedule related to time.
OK， 刚刚老师问 Robin 老师 schedule 跟 agenda 有什么差别？他说是不一样的。schedule 呢有说了写了一些时间，好，这些时间几点到几点做什么事，这样子的一个 form 叫做 schedule. What about agenda?
I think agenda is not necessarily going to have a time with it. Instead, it's a list of things you must do.
OK，老师说的很清楚哈 ，agenda 可能没有时间，但是就是要讨论的意向在事项在上边。通常 agenda 比较多是在 business 里头用这样子的 term 哈 ，talk about meeting agenda 这样子的情况。OK，well we give the few example here. Okay, what is the next item on the agenda? 下一个意向议题是什么？What is the next item on the agenda?
Here's another example. There are several important points on our agenda.
Okay, there are several important points on our agenda. 在我们这个讨论意向有几个重点。Okay, agenda. Okay, 同学学到 agenda 跟 schedule 的差别。Okay, I think it's time. Let's watch our first conversation. Let's go.
Christina, could you come into the office for a minute, please? Please shut the door and have a seat. Let's go through today's agenda.
First, you have two appointments. One with Mr. Jackson at 11, and another this afternoon at 3 with the representative from the Talisman Company.
Where did we schedule that meeting with Mr. Jackson?
He's coming here to meet you.
I think it might be more comfortable for us to meet at the coffee shop downstairs. Would you mind calling him and changing our meeting place?
I'll do that. Mr. Smith, during your afternoon meeting with the Talisman representative, remember to fill him in on the decision made in the Malaysian conferences.
Would you mind bringing me a copy of the minutes of that conference?
I'll get it right now.
While you're at it, could I request a cup of latte?
Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, Robin, do you think we should go over the main points of this chapter right now?
We will go over these later. Let's discuss that term, go over.
Okay.
Go over something means to discuss it or to review it in detail.
Okay, 刚刚老师说 ，Robert 老师，我们可不可以 go over the main points of this chapter？ 现在来复习一下。他说没有，还没有哈，还没到哈，我们才刚开始。Go over 的go through 的意思就是 to discuss 讨论或者是 review something 复习一些的东西。Okay, do you have any example for our students?
Going to go through. We'll go through the lesson. We'll go through our key points.
Okay,
We'll
later we will go through the main points and details. Okay, right now, students, we have a few more keywords and phrases before we watch our conversation too. We'll learn keywords and phrases. Let's go.
Shut.
To close something. For example, a door, window, or a drawer.
Please shut the door behind you.
请关上你后面的门。
Schedule.
To plan for something to happen at a particular time.
Let's schedule another meeting next week.
让我们下周再定个约会。
Fill somebody in.
To give someone details about something.
My secretary will fill you in on the details.
我的秘书会向你报告细节。
Minutes.
An official written record of what is discussed at the formal meeting.
Before we begin our discussion, shall we hear the minutes of the last meeting?
我们讨论之前，是否应该听听上一次的会议记录？
Express mail.
A service that delivers mail or packages more quickly.
This package needs to be sent by express mail.
这个包裹需要用快递寄出去。 Okay, students, 刚刚我们学的 keyword 跟 phrases 里头，我们用了英文的解释。同学们可能老师要再次的提醒你们，因为老师觉得用英文来解释一个生字是比较正确的方法，也是比较能够扩张你词汇量的一个方式。很多时候，一个单单的一个中文解释，并不能够完整的说明这个生字。So 这是为什么这学期我们的 keyword and phrases we use English, simple English, to explain the word's meaning. Okay, but right now we're going to repeat those keywords with the Chinese translation. Okay, here we go.
Shut.
关上，
Shut the gate or the dog will get out.
关上门，否则狗呢会跑出去。
Schedule.
定时间，
I've scheduled the students to come for a meeting today.
我已经定好时间，学生下午会来看我。
Fill somebody in.
向某人报告某事。
I went to the conference in Malaysia. I want to fill you in on the new plans.
我参加了马来西亚的会议，让我告诉你这些新的计划。
Minutes.
会议记录。
Tina, would you take the minutes for today's meeting?
Tina， 你可不可以做今天的会议记录？
Express mail.
快捷邮件。
Make sure you send this package by express mail.
确定你会用快捷寄出这些邮件。Okay, students, we are ready to move on to conversation 2. Okay, here we go. Conversation 2. Here's the copy of the minutes you requested. I wish I could bring you a latte, but the coffee machine is not working this morning. Could I bring you something else?
Don't worry about it. Aside from the 2 meetings, what else is on the schedule today?
After work, you have an appointment with your dentist.
Thanks for reminding me. Please call Mr. Robinson and schedule an appointment with him tomorrow morning.
I'm afraid tomorrow morning is not open. You have already scheduled another appointment at that time.
Okay. And then change my appointment with Mr. Robinson to the afternoon.
You've got it.
Could you send this document out by express mail by noon?
Certainly. Anything else?
Any possibility you know what this is saying?
I'm sorry, but this is not possible. I didn't take Spanish in college.
That's okay. I'll ask someone else.
Robin, in our skits, Mr. Smith, he is really asking for a lot of things, isn't he?
Yes, he's the boss.
Okay.
He can do that. He's asking to schedule appointments and to reschedule appointments and to send the mail and more things.
He wants latte. You know, he said, while you are at it, could I request a cup of latte?
Right, while you're at it.
While you are at it. That's just a key phrase. I want you to take a closer look for our students.
While you're at it. It means you tell someone while they are doing something else, can they do another thing also?
Okay, while you are at it. 用比较简单的中文就是既然顺便你就顺便帮我做什么，反正你已经去那里了，你顺便帮我买个什么东西回来。While you are at it, okay, give me a cup of latte. 就是你去到那个地方，你顺便帮我做什么事。While you are at it. Well, maybe we can give some example for our students.
Would you go to my office and get my daily planner? While you're at it, pick up the mail.
Okay, 他说 Would you go to my office and get my daily planner? Daily planner 就是那个整本的那个记事本哈。他说 While you are at it, pick up my mail. 你既然去了，顺便帮我拿信哈，就是一件又一件，反正你做了就顺便做这件事。Okay, what about next example?
I'm going to clean my room.
Well, you can clean mine too while you are at it. Okay, 他说他要打扫房间，我说你既然要打扫，顺便打扫我的，就是这个意思。While you are at it, do something else. 顺便帮我做哈。There's one more expression which is very common when you respond to people's request. That is,
You've got it.
you've got it. Okay,
it.
tell our students more about this.
That means it will be done. Sure, okay, no problem.
Okay.
All the same as you got it.
Okay, you've got it 这个词很好用哈，特别是你要回应别人的请求，你要告诉对方你会做他要你做的，你就可以用说 You've got it. Whatever you ask, you've got it. I'll do it for you. Okay, that's a good example.
Please book my return ticket for the 1st of May.
Okay, 这个老板说的话，我就说 You've got it. Okay, whatever you say, I do it right away. Okay, let's take a little break before we move on to today's similar expressions.
Making requests. Can you help me with this? Could you please close the door? Proofread this for me, will you?
OK， 当你要请求别人的帮忙、要求别人的时候，做事为你做事，这些是可以说的。Can you help me with this？ 你可以帮我做这个吗？或者是 Could you please close the door？Could you please 做后边的事哈 ？Could you please？ 或者是 proofread this for me。Would you proofread 就是为你校稿校对哈 ？Would you？ 所以这个也是很客气的请求别人帮忙的一个说法。We have more. Let's go.
Would it be possible to type this letter before you go home? May I ask you to mail this for me on your way home?
Okay, would it be possible to type this later before you go home? 这个就好像是老板会对秘书说的哈。Would it be possible to type this later before you go home? Would it be possible to do something? 很客气的请求别人的方法。还有一个是 May I ask you to mail this? May I ask you? 我可以请你做这个吗？后边就是他要他做的事情。
Would you mind calling Mr. Robinson? May I please have a glass of water?
Okay, would you mind calling? 这个同学学到现在对这句应该不陌生了。Would you mind? 你介意做这个事吗？意思就是请人家帮忙，很客气的一个表达方式。Would you mind calling Mr. Robinson? Okay, 你可以帮我打电话吗？或者是 May I please have a glass of water? May I please? 我可以有一杯水吗？这些都是用在你要请别人帮你做事的一个表达方法。Okay, and now what about ways to respond?
Agreeing. Sure. Certainly. Yes, I'd be glad to. Yes, of course.
Okay, 接下去是你同意，你愿意帮忙别人，你就可以说 Sure, certainly. Yes, I'd be glad to. Yes, of course. Okay, more.
You've got it. No problem. I'll get right on it.
OK， 这些是非常棒的一个表达方法啊！如果你是公司的员工，说这些，老板会觉得很开心。You've got it. Whatever you say, you've got it. 或者是 No problem. 你叫我做什么，我就是没有问题。或者是 I get right on it. 我马上办。OK， 这些就是ways to respond to those requests, and you agree to do that. What about you refuse? Refuse to do that.
I'm sorry, but that's not possible.
I'm sorry, but that's not possible. 很抱歉 that's not possible. Whatever you ask me to do, that's not possible. OK， 但是加上 I'm sorry 就比较客气。
I won't be able to mail that tonight because the post office will be closed by the time I can get there.
Okay, I won't be able to do something. I won't be able to mail that tonight because 他给他一个原因，一个理由 because the post office will be closed by the time I can get there.
I'm afraid that's not possible because Mr. Robinson is presently out of town.
Okay, 再来一次 I'm afraid that's not possible. 一样好 I'm afraid 就是很拒绝别人，你没有办法照别人所期待的进行的时候，你就可以用 I'm afraid. That's not possible because 你要的这个先生他现在不在城里头。
I wish I could make a latte for you, but the coffee machine is broken.
OK， 这个 I wish I could 这个 phrase 是 go together 哈。I wish I could， 我真希望我可以帮你做一个 latte。通常后边一定是接 but I can't because the machine is broken. I wish I could, but I can't. 意思是这样子哈，也是婉拒别人，别人的要求你不能做到。OK。Those phrases are great phrases, so take some time and practice and use them whenever you get the chance. Okay, right now we're going to replay our conversations. Okay, this time when we watch our skit without any subtitles, so you can pay attention to those key words and phrases we just learned. Okay.
Christina, could you come into the office for a minute, please? Please shut the door and have a seat. Let's go through today's agenda.
First, you have 2 appointments. One with Mr. Jackson at 11, and another this afternoon at 3 with the representative from the Talisman Company.
Where did we schedule that meeting with Mr. Jackson?
He's coming here to meet you.
I think it might be more comfortable for us to meet at the coffee shop downstairs. Would you mind calling him and changing our meeting place?
I'll do that. Mr. Smith, during your afternoon meeting with the Talisman representative, remember to fill him in on the decision made in the Malaysian conferences.
Would you mind bringing me a copy of the minutes of that conference?
I'll get it right now.
While you're at it, could I request a cup of latte?
Okay, be back in a minute. Here's the copy of the minutes you requested. I wish I could bring you a latte, but the coffee machine is not working this morning. Could I bring you something else?
Don't worry about it. Aside from the 2 meetings, what else is on the schedule today?
After work, you have an appointment with your dentist.
Thanks for reminding me. Please call Mr. Robinson and schedule an appointment with him tomorrow morning.
I'm afraid tomorrow morning is not open. You have already scheduled another appointment at that time.
Okay, and then change my appointment with Mr. Robinson to the afternoon.
You've got it.
Could you send this document out by express mail by noon?
Certainly. Anything else?
Any possibility you know what this is saying?
I'm sorry, but this is not possible. I didn't take Spanish in college.
That's okay. I'll ask someone else.
The language you use or the tone of voice that you use can make a big difference. Some can sound very impolite, some just barely polite, and some can sound very, very polite.
OK， 刚刚 Robert 老师说到，就是你语调哈，你的 tone of voice， 就是你的声音的调调。当你请求别人做事情的时候，因为你的语调的关系，会让你的说法，让人感觉你是很客气，也可能很不客气，或者是非常客气。我们现在请 Robin 老师给我们一些例子啊。
Okay, so here's impolite.
Impolite impolite 就不礼貌的方式。
I want coffee. Give me a coffee.
OK， 他模仿的哈。I want the coffee. Give me a coffee. 像这个句型，不单是句型是很不客气，你的语调也不客气了。
Okay, polite. Could I have a coffee? A cup of coffee. May I please have a cup of coffee?
Okay, may I, could I 用这个加上去，可能你的句子就 polite 一点了哈，你就比较客气一点。比如说 ，Could I have a cup of coffee? 或是 May I have a cup of coffee, please? Sounds more polite. What about very polite?
More with a question.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if I could have a cup of coffee, please.
OK， 这个是
wonder.
OK，I wonder 哈，就是更用问句的表达方式。我不确定你能不能帮我。I wonder if I could have a cup of coffee, please. 这其实它的背后的意思就是 request，but the way he say it and the tone he carry is a lot more polite. OK. Right now, it's move on to your turn. Okay, remember, your turn is your turn. You're going to do exercise. You're going to do practice. What we learned today is your turn to put into practice. Okay, let's move on. Your turn.
Would it be possible to type this letter before you go home?
I'll do my best. Would it be possible？ 同学们，刚刚我们用到了问句的表达方式，是非常客气的。Would it be possible？ 好，你可不可以在回家前帮我打这封信？回答的人说 I'll do my best， 意思就是他会做了哈。我们来看下一句。
Would you mind calling Mr. Chen?I'm
afraid that's not possible because Mr. Chen is presently out of town. Would you mind calling? 你可不可以打电话？介意打电话给 Mr. Chen 吗？他说 I'm afraid that's not possible. 记住这是拒绝的表达方法，但是他很客气，他说 I'm afraid that's not possible. 然后给他一个原因，因为 Mr. Chen 不在城内。
Proofread this for me, will you?Sure,
I'd be glad to. 可以帮我读这封校对的这个吗？他说可以 ，Would you 可以吗 ？Sure, I'd be glad to. Share 当然我很高兴帮你做。
May I ask you to mail this for me on your way home?
May I ask you？ 这也是很客气的表达上。May I ask you to mail this for me on your way home? On your way home， 回家的路上。回答的人说 No problem. The post office is near my apartment.
Could you fill me in on the details of the last meeting?
Certainly. We talked over our recent changes in development. Could you fill me in? 你可以告诉我上一个会议到底谈些什么吗？对方说 Certainly. We talk over. 我们谈到些什么最近的更新的计划。
While you're at it, could you bring me a cup of coffee?
I'm afraid I can't. The coffee machine is out of order. Okay, while you're at it, 你顺便帮我带一杯咖啡来吧。他说恐怕不行了。The coffee machine is out of order. Something is out of order 就是 broken 坏了。
Please schedule an appointment with Dr. Davidson tomorrow at 10.
You've got it. Okay. All right, Robin, I think it's time to go through what we have learned, the main point for this lesson.
We've learned how to make a request and how to respond to a request, also how to refuse if you cannot do that. Now, Lisa, since you have worked as an executive secretary before, I think with all your years of experience in the business world, you can give some suggestions for people how to be a good secretary.
I'd be glad to. Okay, 当一个秘书，老师觉得很重要的是你要 dress appropriately and neatly， 你要穿着的适当。第二个，老师觉得一个 female 的 secretary 是女性的 secretary，you should wear a modest amount of makeup， 就是化一点淡妆。还有呢 ，pay attention to details is important too. You know, office work and secretary work， 你常常需要做一些细的事务，所以 pay attention to details. Okay, every time you find you got the information, you always confirm the information. 总是确认再确认。You don't want to get your boss the incorrect information, and you work smartly. Of course, I think keep learning is very important too. I suggest students to join the Secretary Association. You get more training. Okay? All right, that's all for today. I think we need to let you go. You have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.